right, everybody, welcome to SouthCoastConfidential.com. I am honored and pleased to be joined by the amazing, the awesome Chief Joseph Cordeiro. Welcome to South Coast Confidential.
Well, thank you, Brian. It's a pleasure to be here with you and have this opportunity to talk with your viewers.
I know it's Thursday, but I'm hoping for a High Five Friday. Is that possible?
You better believe it, man. We give a high five any day.
Let's start with the High Five Friday campaign. Growing up, officer coats with the DARE program. I love officer coats. I want to start off by praising your team. I was in Roosevelt, 7th grade. I'm not going to tell you how long ago because it's going to age me a little bit. Officer Coates was really the first police officer I ever had interaction with. And he combined information, education, which is pretty much the same thing, and entertainment. And that grabbed the kids. Yeah, you know, he had a badge, might have had a gun, but it didn't matter because they loved what he did. I want to talk about High Five Friday. When did that idea come up, and whose brainchild idea was it?
So I wish I could say it was mine, but it was not. I'd got an email from a colleague, a chief of police in Chelsea, Chief Brian Keys. There was a campaign going out, and he was encouraging chiefs to do that. And then there was some media coverage, as you know. There was a town out Midwest Massachusetts that was having some problems, conflict, or not conflict, but it was just a little rising about non-residents being upset or concerned or stressed out if the police officers went to their schools. And I said, that just didn't make sense to me. It absolutely made sense for us to get into the school, high-five these guys, and create some energy in the morning before the school starts and build our relationship with kids, because relationships, whether it's with kids or adults, are not built on one event. It takes time and many, many times of different interactions with them. So I thought it was a great idea. I went to Dr. Pia Durkin. She agreed, and it's been a great success. And having done it myself, and I know the officers that do it as well, it's just as rewarding for us. It's really energizing to be with kids, and it's fun, and it's exciting. It's really cool.
It creates the opportunity for role models, which is huge.
And friendships. Yes. Friendships that will last a long time, even if it's not just with that individual officer, but changing perceptions of police officers for some of these kids. Because they will be adults, they will have children, and hopefully over time they tell their children that cops are cool. Cops are your friends. They're people that we rely on, we work with together. They're just like us.
Do you think a DARE program can be reinstated or something in that matter where we could have a program where we can get to the kids? I do that with Odie's Place. We go to schools and educate. We have such things where we work with trainers, how to be a tree campaign, where if a kid sees a loose dog, how to properly react. Do you have any type of program in the works, like a DARE type of program, where you're getting in the school system and hitting it from the ground running?
Right, so there's a lot of things going on right now with the school system and the police department. We have a great relationship with Pia Durkin. And so we have our school resource officers that are in our middle schools and our high schools. We're trying to get officers to go to the schools when they have downtime as well. In terms of programming, we just received a opiate prevention grant that we're going to start up in the fall. I am a big advocate for meditation for kids. If we can teach kids at a young age to meditate, it's a tool and a skill like reading that once they know how to do it, they can do it forever. So when we're in a tough environment, some of these kids come from challenging environments, and at home they can get into that meditative mode. It'll help them make better intuitive decisions. We're always looking for new programs and ways that we can interact with kids and educate them and build relationships. The biggest thing for us is building relationships with the kids. We have our Citizens Police Academies that we're doing in the schools right now. Julia Barbosa is doing it over here at Keith. Leanne Fisher's doing it up at Vocational, and they're all emulating that through the other schools as well. And we are constantly looking at other ways and other programs to reach kids, and more importantly, build relationships. We have this summer coming the Youth Dialogue Initiatives. I don't know if you've heard about it, in collaboration with the YWCA, who were able to get a sizable grant from the Island Foundations. This past week, they had a group of consultants in the city of New Bedford talking with stakeholders in the city, police officers alike, and I've got some of the feedback from them, which is positive, very positive, between the community and the police. Now we're going to train police officers, and we're going to train kids how we can talk to each other. So when there's a volatile situation out in the street, how both sides can de-escalate to have a good conversation and then find a resolution to whatever's going on.
Talk about growing up. I mentioned the role model world. What role models did you have growing up is part A? And part B, when did you realize that you wanted to take this amazing path and making a difference in being a police officer?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. So I've been very fortunate in my life to have wonderful role models. But, you know, my mom and dad, you know, we came here from Portugal. We're immigrants here, and, you know, they strived, you know, a strong work ethic. We're based with a Catholic Christian religion to help people, always help people. And, you know, when people came over the house, you know, the first thing that they do is, you know, get them something to eat, something to drink, treat them with hospitality. And always talked about helping people. You know, my dad had a garden. He'd give, you know, a lot of his vegetables, you know, to people that were in need and that he knew. And that's just the way we were raised. So my mom and dad would be my first role models. And I had so many good people in my life. Junior Achievement was a big player in my life as well. You know, Jim Mathis, I think Fred Killis was the director there as well, and many others in the church. I had some priests and teachers and friends. Believe it or not, many of the people I grew up with that we were just, you know, my peers. We had a lot of fun. We hossed around, but, you know, we always helped each other and helped other people out. So even my peers were great role models for me.
I hear a lot about you growing up. Same old Joe. Same old Joe. You're 1 week shy from your 1 year anniversary. Happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you.
What is the number one lesson you learned that you didn't realize when you accepted the position, and a year later you got your feet under you? What's the one lesson, the number one lesson that really pops out that,
There's a couple of real big lessons there. One is, which you already knew it, but you don't realize to go through, is you just can't make everybody happy. And you got to make some decisions that it's always going to leave somebody unhappy. And that just comes with a job. But the big lesson that there was a wonderful surprise for me, is the spirit of New Bedford just coming alive. I can see it. I can feel it. When I'm talking to people, it's just, it's been great. That's been the great lesson for me, and that's really what's charging me every day out there. We have great people in the city.
There are a lot of children who are going to grow up and want to aspire to be a police officer.
I hope so.
I want to talk about the impact you make on a daily basis. What was the one moment in your career, chief or not chief, that you realized, wow, I really make an impact?
And I've talked about this in many venues, including at UMass Dartmouth when I do a presentation there. I'll try to be real brief, but I was new on a job, and it was the first case I had where a little boy, he's about, 3-4 years old, really good communicator though, he was sexually abused by his dad. And when I got in the house, the first one I had is a uniformed patrol officer, and I got down on his level, wasn't that high because I'm not really a tall man, but and I said, hey, my name's Joey, what's your name? And he says, oh, my name too. And then we hit it off and we talked, and he gave me all the information I needed to do as an investigator, and I did my job that day. And then that was it. And I fast forward about 6-7 years later, and I'm in uniform, and I'm getting ready to walk in a parade, and I'm at Buttonwood Park, and I hear this young African black boy, 9 or 10 years old, whatever his age was, and I hear him, I say, hey, Joey. And originally really wasn't accustomed to people calling me that in uniform, especially a younger kid. You should say officer. And I turned around like I was like, who are you? Joey, like I don't. And he said to me, he says, you don't remember me? He says, I'm Joey. And that's when it clicked to me, the impact that we have in people's lives. Wow. Years later, this young boy who was 3 or 4 years old remembered me. Wow. And I haven't forgot him.
You absolutely do notice this, but you have a superhero on your force, Detective Claudia Sampson.
Yes,
two-time cancer survivor.
Yes, and not only that, she is my academy classmate.
I did the research. You've been in the force for 31, and she's been in 31.
We're in academy together.
That was my next question.
June 2nd, we started the academy together 31 years ago. Claudia is a wonderful person. She was wonderful in the academy, and she's had a very good career here, but she's a wonderful humanitarian. You're right, she's survived cancer twice. She's a tough lady. But she has a big heart. She's a big animal lover. So we have something, right off the bat, we have something in common.
Awesome.
We both love animals. She loves her boxers, but she loves pit bulls. I remember one of her first animals on a job, she had don't know if he was, maybe he was a boxer, but her family's had a lot of pit bulls. She's a big pit bull
Awesome.
lover, and she's rescued some, and her
Awesome.
daughter has as well. But she's a big humanitarian with a big heart who loves to help people, and that's the kind of spirit that I love to promote about our men and women on the department, because most of them aren't like that. And she's a great example of that, a wonderful woman.
She has an event coming up in like May, like donating the hair.
Yes, and I think this is the second time she's doing it. She's going to shave her head off completely. So if any of you really want to help her out and donate some money to that cause, that would be great.
Let's talk about the Police Academy program. Growing up, I was a big fan of the movie The Police Academy.
Yes.
I know it's not the same.
No,
I
it's
know
not.
you're not applying to be a police officer.
Right.
The one thing that really particularly popped out was when you send a press release when I'm a big guy. And my wife's cousin was in the Marines, who's actually a trooper in Virginia now.
Wow.
And he brought me to the gun range. I'm thinking, this is easy.
Yes.
Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah.
you know, like the movies,
Right.
Clint Eastwood. Got this little gun in my hand. Wow.
Yeah.
It kicked me like, I did it about twice, I'm done. Him, he's got a shotgun, he's going nuts because he had the force. Talk about the Police Academy program. Why do you think the Police Academy is so important? And talk about the impact it made last year. And what is the goal this year for that Academy program?
Right. The Citizens Police Academy is a very crucial tenet of what we're trying to do here, which is build relationships with the community, is in our community policing philosophy. So by having citizens come to the Police Academy, get to see and learn and educate them on what the police, what we do, what we can do, and what we can't do, what our limitations by law, policies, and procedures. Give them a front row seat insight to what it's like to be a police officer without actually being a police officer. From our ride along to firing a firearm to listening to our, Sergeant Mello in the Family Service Unit talk about, sexual abuse, domestic violence, and the impact of society, and their investigators, the stress that they go through. By getting that front row seat, they understand us better. And they get to realize that we're just human beings trying to do a tough job. And sometimes we just don't get it right because we're not perfect. Because we have the same problems everybody else does. We have children that give us headaches sometimes. We have some spouts sometimes with some arguments with our spouses. We have financial issues. We have health issues. We have all that stuff that everybody does. And the idea is when they're done with our academy, we hope that they understand us and we understand them, and they will be an ambassador for the police department out in the community, talking about what we do, what we can't do, and encouraging people to get involved with us.
Rapid fire time.
Sure.
What is your favorite sports team?
Well, football would be the Patriots. Soccer would be Benfica in Portugal. I don't know if you've been in my office, you'll see all the banners.
I saw the banners.
I got my own poem in Portuguese for those guys too.
What is your favorite restaurant?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's so many.
That's a difficult position.
Oh, that's a
You
really
have a
tough
sandwich at our favorite restaurant.
Yes, I
Mary's.
do. And she does it.
That's our
I
Thai
love
Mary's.
Mary, yes. That's a really tough one. I would say that in New Bedford, you can't go wrong with any of them. I'm going to be diplomatic about that.
Diplomatic
So
is a good
depend-
answer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the off time. It's more of a question to ask the family. Do you ever have any time to tune it off, to shut it off and have family time?
Well, I do try. I love my family. Mm-hmm. I love my dog, as I told you. Yeah, so I do have some time. But this job is incredibly demanding, though. To really try to shut it off completely, the closest I get is if my wife and I can get away for 5 days completely out of the state. And even then, I'm still working because I text every day. I keep in touch. So completely turn off, no. There is never any time for completely shut down in this role.
My final question is technology. Nowadays, your job is a lot harder because everyone has a Facebook, a Snapchat, an Instagram. How attentive is the force on the social media? You saw what happened last month with Cleveland, that unfortunate incident that happened, Facebook Live. What is the police force's take? Apparently, it seems like nowadays, if you have a police scanner app and a cell phone, you're a journalist. What is the police force's take on technology as a whole? I mean, we're talking Facebook, social media, the threats that happen every second on Facebook. What's the take on the force, pretty much on social media?
So social media, it's like any technology, right? There's good and bad, and how to maximize the benefits and not so much the negatives. So I think there's more positives that we can accomplish with social media by embracing it and not ignoring it or try to fight it. And that's what we're trying to do. We try to embrace it, get our message out, be as transparent as we can with the public, because they should be. We're here to serve the public. Now the challenges is when we're doing investigations, for example, crime scenes. You know, we're trying to conduct our business, and our detectives are trying to investigate, and they can be distracted by individuals going out there that don't have any formal training or affiliated with a bona fide media outlet, or even if they're not, but just trying to do the right thing and do responsible reporting and get in the way of our work. So we're going to try to expand and refortify our crime scene. We just talked about this at our staff meeting this week. Coincidentally, that you bring it up. Try to expand our crime scene perimeter and really enforce that more effectively. But it's not that we're trying to hide what we're doing, but when we're in the middle of the investigation, we can't afford these kind of distractions. And it's beneficial if the public or people that are doing that would be responsible in their reporting and not be in our way. We're even talking about hosting maybe a media meeting here and talk about what our rules of interaction during these very active crime scenes are.
Final question. The weather's beautiful out, but that is an increase of not only babies being left in cars, but dogs. What is the goal? What is the game plan this year, this summer? You haven't seen it yet, but I locked myself in a car last summer, and it was 110 degrees. But it was difficult. I was sweating. I opened my car door after everything, and the wind blew. I put myself in that position to educate the public that this is not a joke. No, you can't leave your animals in the car. No. Literally a day after I did that, a dog in Brockton passed away from being left in a car. So what is the police's take this year with the summer coming up, and the summer's already here, the weather's beautiful, with people not only leaving babies in the car, but leaving animals?
Animals as well. Right. So I think you started hitting is using technology to our benefit and educate. And I think you already started doing that by doing that self-experiment, is really getting a message out there that both the babies and children, these babies are small, so they can't sustain that heat. And even if they leaving them in there is such a risk of someone taking them, I just don't understand the mentality behind it. And the same thing with the animals. The dogs not only can be taken, but it's a health hazard for both of them. So we got to get out there, educate, and we will enforce. As you seen last year, we will enforce, the violations of the law, both with the children, abandonment of a child like that, and with the dogs. As you know, there's a new law.
Mark Montini.
Right, you know about that new law. So leaving that dog in there, you run the risk that someone's going to break the glass of your auto.
Final question. The platform is yours to promote anything you got going on, any awesome new events you want to plug. The floor is yours. The platform is yours. Feel free.
Well, thank you so much, Brian. Again, I want to thank you for having me here. I think this is incredibly important to have this opportunity. My final message to the viewers is I just want to say the city of New Bedford is a great city. And what I've realized in the last year that's reinforced what I think all of us know. We have wonderful people. Our biggest asset in the city of New Bedford is you. And the biggest change to turn our city to where we want it to be is you. We need you to be invested in your fellow human being, whether you know them, stranger or not, to do something when you see something that is wrong, to listen to someone that is in need. It could be a coworker or a neighbor. Just listening sometimes is all the difference. Give somebody a hug, a smile, care. But we got to take our caring that we all have in our hearts, that I've seen, our charitable hearts we have in New Bedford. We got to take that to the next level. We need to take that into some kind of action. And it can be from the smallest to the largest. Cleaning your sidewalk, keeping your property clean, calling the police when you see something that's out of order, helping someone who's needing help. Whatever it is that you can do, we need you to do it. We need to become a true city of one. And I appreciate the wonderful things that everybody's doing out there, like yourself, Brian. So many wonderful things that people are doing out there. And I think we need to focus on all the positive things in the city of New Bedford and that are happening here. This is a great city. We are not a city that is different than any others without challenges. We are. But what we have, we can overcome all these challenges once we embrace our similarities and respect our differences. So I thank you for this time, and know that the New Bedford Police is comprised of an incredible body of men and women who are trying to do their best every single day. 98% are doing a great job out there. And another 2-3% sometimes are having a bad day, because we are human beings. And I appreciate you telling them when you see them that they're doing a good job, because it reinvigorates the mission, it reinvigorates and reinforces that they know that they're doing good work out there. So thank you so much. I appreciate all the support you've been given. Today is the National Prayer Day, so please pray for us and pray for the people in New Bedford. We're only getting better and better every day when we come together. Thank you.